every bit of it.
The boat
That's
dock.
water under the bridge now,
Which one?
Over by Lyle's, the
Okay.
Reynolds. Are we gonna redeck them? I did not figure that in. If we're gonna do any redecking.
I think we pretty well, we've gotta do something down there with them. We went through the work with the DEQ, they pretty well approved us, we just gotta pay the $50 short-term
so.
permit.
The one.
We do the one, but actually the one next to it was underwater for the last month and a half here. So now that, I don't know if we need to redeck them, can we unbolt them and just lift them up? I don't know until we get into them either. I think I put a price together on redecking that one at around $300 to $400, I think. Don't hold me to that, cause I don't have my paperwork in front of me. But I would think for under $1,000, we probably could do something to get them usable. They are actually revenue also with the park at $3 a day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
Or they're
and more
gonna
if
send
we
that
raise
out.
that. That's,
Keep,
yeah,
keep in mind, you got labor in there now too, you gotta put more time in for labor. I don't have enough figured into them wages for labor.
See, most people, I wouldn't have thought that, and most people in the village, I don't think, would think that, you'd think, okay, fix the docks, Sam goes down, buys $400 worth of wood, and that's it. But there's other expenses, like your labor and whatever
Yeah.
else, fuel, and it's
Fuel
like a
and
million
equipment.
little
Oh,
money.
yeah, that all adds up.
yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have realized that, I mean, I would
There's
just,
more expenses.
medical, HSA, retirement, all that gets
See
billed
that
into
whole
each
account,
of them
you use your
accounts.
whole boat, if- by redecking them.
And by the time we get to that spring, we'll be done with this budget year, and so we finished out how the winter hit us. And I think we all realize it's something we need to do.
You know, it may be something to look at, you know, cost prohibitive or whatever, paying the $50 dredge and just pulling that one dock out or something and maybe, I don't know, you know, we just have to look at our options when that time comes. I mean, that's really all I can say, but I do believe we gotta do something.
So you might wanna figure it in this budget.
did you have campground people that made any comments about the docks there? That you couldn't get to, when they're sunk down?
A few. There was a few people. One of them, we had a barrier on all summer long that they weren't allowed to be, allowed to have to keep kicking the young kids off of it. It was sunken under about 2 inches of water almost all summer.
We would have a public improvement.
So it's when you have to come over the 101, see, that's why it's always hard to say, yeah, when the 101 is always
Right.
so.
That's why I brought it
So
up,
tight.
cause it all comes out of 101 for campground.
Everybody knows my opinion on how we get more money out of campgrounds, we charge more money to rent a lot in campground.
I think that's something we're gonna have to look at
That's
this
been
year.
that's just my personal thought for, I've had actual campers come and tell me, why don't you raise the rates? This
I
is-
don't even care that.
From the campers I talked to down there, incredibly cheap. They can't even believe they can come and stay on the water. Someone told me they can stay here on the lake for less than they can stay in the middle of the field.
How much is it?
$20 on the
That's
lake.
more, that's less than what the state paid.
That's what I'm saying, they're just,
And
they're
that's
just
what Ellsworth,
Yeah.
so reasonable that we can generate, you know what I mean? And that's, listen, we're gonna talk about the campground a lot.
Yeah.
We can.
it's only $20 on the lake.
We've had some thoughts of going through it, and we can put some of the thoughts out there, because obviously there's no answer to them, but we're, in raising the rates, it's gonna allow us the benefit of upgrading the docks. We're looking at getting some, Wi-Fi in the park for campers. We're trying to work on getting our bathrooms upgraded down there, but obviously that's a huge expense that we're working grants for, so. But them are things that we're looking at that support a raise in the cost of the rentals.
You know when the last time it was raised?
You were just a wee little pup.
What happened
Long
last, did they
time
raise,
ago.
remember, that was a
We did
huge,
raise them, remember?
that was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's been,
Well,
I don't remember, Ken.
it was when both
I don't
Harry
remember.
and
It's
Sharon
been so
were on
long
the
ago.
board, right? So-
6 years ago, 7 years
Oh,
ago.
wait, more than- I've been
I
on
think the
board
problem
since.
is they wait too
It's
long
probably
to
been
raise
10.
them.
It
then we
was
have to
when
double
Sharon
them.
was still on
That's
board.
what
Mhm.
happened, is
Was
we doubled the
double.
rates, and the rates may be people that.
See a sticker shock, because it's been so long.
Exactly, so we take it in small increments, raise it $2 every year, or $3 every year for the next few years to get ourselves there.
Like I can tell you, because over at Fisherman's Armlets, they don't have anything, if anybody's ever been there, and that's $12 a night. You have to bring in your own generators, and you have porta potties and everything else, so. And I thought Wilderness, it was $24, I think.
Barnes is 26 something, I think, for an electric hookup site, water. I don't think they have any sewer on site, so I think all those are just electric.
There's nothing on the lake, nothing when you sit there on the
Two
lake.
rates either fifty.
Right there.
Ways down.
No, you gotta walk
Yeah,
down.
that's what I'm saying.
No matter what you gotta do, you
Yeah.
gotta walk the lake there.
People
There's
stand
a
on
few
the
of them that
lake.
you can fall down the hill and get there, but
People just walk by lake, walk to the lake. They should.
And no docks.
No Lakeview.
Per month.
there used to be. We were kids, there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Took the fence down, cut some trees so you could see real nice. That's how I learned you can fall down the hill and end up on the beach.
We do too, I can get a discount or break for the moment.
So I really don't think we need a lot of.
We didn't make a lot of changes at all, you know. Our basic changes is in our attorney fees, legal, the deputy clerk that we're gonna look and try and do something on. Other than that, our
Is
auditor.
that Judy
we had to-
Kozlowski, the deputy clerk?
No.
What is, I saw that on here.
Per pass.
She wasn't really deputy clerk, she would fill in, she would help her.
Oh, she's kind of like, if you need,
Yeah, and she would never
Not anymore.
officially declare deputy clerk.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
We'd actually like to get some in there, say 10 hours a week or
so on the
something.
budget here, that should be not be Judy Gay.
It's
It
explaining the
says,
pass.
Oh,
oh,
no, no.
it
that's-
says,
that's it in contracted
it says
services.
Judicator, because I wondered what that money
Yes,
in that was.
yes,
Notes.
yes.
Yeah, so I just wondered what
Yes.
that money
He
was
was
spent on, so
Correct.
it was Judy the money we actually spend to assist, which is our accounting program.
Right.
Yeah, when you look at that actual budget, we've spent over $6,000 this year, we only budgeted 3 for it, so our question was back to Pat, of why were we $3,000 more? And that's part of Judy's expenses come out of that.
She showed up as contract services, not deputy clerk.
Yep.
No.
It's actually, if you look at that, it's just because it was,
We had it down.
it just cuts the word out all the way down to.
You kind of broke the vicious meeting.
Just like you need another.
Yeah, I think we should.
No, but yeah.
If there's any other questions, I mean, I don't know.
Put National Guard on the invite for you.
I mean, I think really the
Same.
Don't get me involved now.
They really don't
I'll
see
leave my
a
keys with you.
sprinkler.
Did you see Libby's?
Yeah, I mean, that's, other than that,
I have a question for you guys, as a layperson, if you could just explain to me how grants play into the budget.
They're not out.
So far, any grants that we've tried to, and Ken's worked more with them and Scott has, they have a specific purpose, and when we've tried for them in the past. We go after a grant for, say, fence around the ball field. If we get it, that money goes towards that fence. So that,
It's for specific things.
so far, yes, that's how
You
any
would
of us
never
have
get a
it.
blanket type of a grant just to use at will or,
The only grant I know of in a while, you got a grant for the second patrol car.
and then one couple years prior to that for equipment.
For equipment, there was a grant back.
We got a
for-
grant
for the-
a few years ago to put a second dock in down to Thurston Park.
But they're always very specific.
Very
They're really
specific,
earmarked
specific.
money.
And
you
they're
have-
not-
You have to show you spent the money on.
Very
that
competitive.
project, and that's the trouble now, grant money's drying up and it's.
And that's
it's
the
all
drive
hard.
on the master plan and the rec plan too, is to be able to get that money. Nobody, they laugh at us now because we don't have them things in place.
Yeah, you can't even like for help with Thurston Park or anything to do with the bathhouses or anything like that, or a fence at the ball field. You can't even apply for the grant unless you have a recreation plan approved by the DNR.
Okay, thank you.
So that's moving along pretty quick. Matter of fact, we'll be talking about it at the meeting tonight. So that was another expense, but once again, what do you,
There's some expenses you have to incur.
that was one that had to be done. And I think any grant, we've had like the Northern Lakes Economic Alliance keeps us pretty much, if they see something they think comes along.
And that's how you're made aware of certain things that might be able to apply to the
I'd
village?
say, most of the time that I know of, it's been Northern Lakes has kind of sent something along this way.
Scott, where do you get the information on, like, the tribal grants that you got?
Just happen to know about it. I mean,
You
sometimes
got
it's
to be
just
in the
word of
know-how?
mouth. Some some villages, they have specific people that just do that all the time.
Yeah.
But you're talking about bigger villages that, that's the way you do it. If you can find somebody that, it doesn't have to be a person that works here, it could be anybody.
But it could be a person that works here.
But it couldn't be a person that works here.
It doesn't have to be though, right?
No, it's just a
It could
matter
be
of,
somebody who's just seeking grants and
yeah, I think it's somebody that's
researching and looking.
looking at the big picture and what is it the village needs, or what was the village like, who's got the access to that, or, maybe it's the DNR, maybe it's DEQ, maybe it's some, the tribal grant, maybe it's a lot of different things.
Because what happens, like Scott said, a lot of other ones, with Boyne City always comes to mind because they're great at it. They've got a huge amount of revenue and a lot of staff. They'll pick a project and write it up like they're gonna do it, and have it all ready to go, and they've probably got 8 or 10 of them, and they just sit on them
But they have a
until the
choice.
grant comes
and
up.
they start looking for
And they're-
grants.
They don't even really, but they just, if a grant does come up, they say, well, we've got this project. And I mean, and it's so hard to compete against them, because like I said, they've got a lot of staff and a lot of people, and they've got people, that's all they do. And they'll just, we wanna redo that building or whatever, and they write it all up, and they prepare this whole, not knowing there's not even a grant available for it. But if one comes up, then there's a lot of other villages, there's cities and larger villages that do it, and they're just way ahead that fast,
They
because
gotta
of that
know how to
reason.
write those up anyway.
Oh, it's quite
It's
a
a
process,
trick.
but
It's a
it
incredible
works. I
grant.
mean, I think it's great that Boyne City does it, but once again, we can't compare the village of Central Lake with Boyne City, obviously, but if you go to Boyne, you'll see the benefits of grant money, huge.
A lot of those are matching funds to some degree too.
Mhm.
So, how Rapids put that park in, it would have been a
Yeah.
$500,000 park, and it is a $2 million park.
Yeah, like the last one we applied for on the ballpark, and my gosh,
They
I think they denied it, and we're suddenly going to get a wire grant.
I'm not just saying that.
Early on.
If there's no more public comment, we'll
Are we done spending through the master plan now? Is that the last expenditure for the next 5 years? We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
for that company.
Yeah.
Like,
There might be a few more minor billings on it, but the master plan update and the rec plan, I don't see us doing anything with it again for another 5 years, and it has to be an update.
$8,000 for that, wasn't it?
Five?
Five? Oh, yeah.
But she, outside Mary Campbell, I couldn't imagine doing it without her help.
Right.
She's just been an immense amount.
Well, she did the original plan too. She did the original plan.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, my God. I heard that.
I thought if I bring this, I won't get your.
Okay.
How are you? Good.
I have a feeling.
Okay.
Okay.
I've had it.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can choose that.
Surprised Larry didn't stick around on this one. How are you, Joe? Good, how are you?
No, I just wanted you to kind of see what these are the emails that we're gonna do.
Yeah, we gotta bring.
So, but that was just,
Okay.
Right to the bitter end.
yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to see that right off. Pertinent information.
You'll just, okay.
There is online, but it's the one that says, whatever.
So we sit down there, we can see what else.
Another box.
See, I already did.
There it is, it's just showing.
Try.
What is it?
Something that needs fires or water.
Well, we should put that electric start on that truck, and automatic remote start going.
And
Should just hire somebody to keep it running.
Then there you go.
Did you start mine while you're out there?
No,
I haven't seen anything like that.
that was really two right now.
As far as I know, yes.